Hello and welcome. My name is Christine Hall and I am the MAWB founder and the Mastermind Facilitator. And in today's session, I want to teach you more about how the hot seat works. It's important that you understand how the hot seat works, as that is going to be our primary goal or objective when we meet monthly. So let's go ahead and get started. In this presentation today, I'm going to talk about what a Mastermind Hot Seat is, how the Mastermind Hot Seat works, how to get the most out of your hot seat, and then tips for being in the hot seat. I'll have a little example to show you, and then I'm just going to review or remind you the benefits of a mastermind. So what is a Mastermind Hot Seat? The hot seat is where you get to be in the spotlight. The group focuses all of our energy and our intention on you and helping you solve your problems or address the issues that you're facing in your business. It's where we will collectively harness all of our wisdom, our experience, and our knowledge to assist you. And it really is one of the most valuable parts of being in a mastermind. So I cannot encourage you enough to participate fully in order to maximize the benefits that a mastermind has to offer. Okay, so my next slide is, how does the hot seat work? Each week, every person in your mastermind group will be in the hot seat. So you want to be prepared for that, and you do not want to miss it. Each person will be in the hot seat for 15 to 20 minutes, and each week we will have a different person who will go first. The allocated person, or the individual in the hot seat, is going to talk about their specific goal. Could be for the month, could be for the quarter, could be for the year, and the current challenge they're facing, and then share with us the desired outcome or the clarity in which they want to gather around that issue. The remainder of the group then offers advice, suggestion, observations, recommendations, resources, or even specific ways of helping. So even though it's an important role to be in the hot seat, you as an individual around the table have an equally as important role to listen, pay attention, and provide even feedback. Even asking clarifying questions can sometimes be enough. So every person has a special role. All right, so how can you get the most out of your hot seat? Well, one of the things I'm going to suggest is that you prepare in advance. Don't come to the mastermind brainstorming meeting and sit there and think, what am I going to talk about today? What am I going to talk about today? What am I going to ask? No, you are actually going to be required to think about this in advance. And what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to write down the questions or the specific topic that you want to discuss. I'm also going to ask you to think about what you've done in the past to help with the issue or the challenge that you're facing. So that will allow you to articulate quickly and easily what the background is, to give us the context that we need to be able to answer your questions. But it'll also be able to help you get the most relevant information from us, allowing us to maximize our time, maximize your time in the spotlight. So again, what you need to do is write down your question, your concern, your issue, and succinctly be able to tell us what you've done in the past to overcome that and what didn't work, and then be able to clearly articulate what it is you're looking for from us. And you have to do that, I would say, in the shortest amount of time possible, so that we can spend more time and the most time while you're in the hot seat brainstorming the idea, brainstorming the solutions, brainstorming the answers, to your query. So what is it that you want to discuss in the hot seat? One of the theories that people often use is start, stop, and keep, or stop, start, keep, whatever. Let me just explain what that means. So you think about your business and you're thinking about what is working for you, what strategies, what services, what processes are working. Those are things you're going to keep in place and you don't necessarily need help on. Those are your less important items to bring to the table. Then you can think about, well, what's not working? You know, what are the current roadblocks and the challenges that you're facing? And what have you done? Have you tried several times, several different ways with different people to mitigate, to overcome those issues? Sometimes you just need to stop working on that. Sometimes you just need to stop putting effort there and try something else. Okay, so think of the things that is going well. Just keep doing that. The things that are not working, maybe you just need to bless and release those. And what we want to focus on here in our mastermind is what you'd like to achieve, what you'd like to start, right? What do you need help with? What is your most burning issue or need or desire to overcome? And that's where we're going to be able to help you and provide advice or perspective, suggestions, things you might not have thought of. So that's what you're going to discuss in the hot seat. Now I want to just go through a few tips on how you can maximize your time in the spotlight. First thing I'm going to say, folks, is drop the ego and avoid being defensive or reactive. So there's going to be times around the table where you're going to receive advice that you don't agree with. And maybe you'd be inclined to get defensive about the advice. But you really need to resist that temptation because you want the real opinion, not what we think you want to hear. You want to hear the real opinions of people. And by avoiding being either defensive or reactive to criticism, you'll gain new perspective and you'll be open to the members' contributions. You'll be open to really hearing what they have to say and how they want to help you. If you become reactive and defensive, what happens is the members shut down and we don't give you our full, truthful responses because we think, I don't want to be faced with that reaction again. So I'll give the person some fluff. I'll give them what I think they want to hear to make them feel good. That's not okay. That's not going to push us forward. That's not going to get us out of our comfort zone. That's not going to have us moving ahead. That's not going to have us grow, learn, expand. And that's what you all are here to do. Okay? So that's my first tip. My next tip is to be open and frank. By being vulnerable, you can create more space for improvement. Masterminds are a deeper, more caring community space for you. So just drop your pretenses. We often, how are you? How's it going? Oh, I'm great. It's all good. When really it's not. Oh yeah, life is wonderful. So everything's going along great, but it's not. Okay. In order to really solve or resolve or overcome issues and challenges, we have to let that go and be open and frank and be honest and be forthcoming. And sometimes that's scary and that's definitely going to be uncomfortable and we're not going to want to let people know because it's going to make us feel like a failure or we failed. That is not the case at all. We're going to get raw, we're going to get real so we can help you move past all of that. Okay? If you want to achieve the real growth, you got to share the innermost fears and frustrations that you're facing. Okay, what else do I have for you today? In the mastermind, we're going to have various roles. Within each of the subgroups, there's 2 subgroups. Each of the subgroups, we're going to have roles. And one of the most important roles will be the role of the timekeeper. And one of the most important objectives that you'll have as a mastermind member is sticking to the time and being respectful of everyone else's time to ensure that everyone does get their 15 to 20 minutes of allotted hot seat time. And so that's one role. The other role is note taker. And sometimes what happens is mastermind facilitators will assign that role to someone in the group. But I think there's no better person to take notes than you. There's no better person that's going to be able to understand the note taking and understand what everyone around the table has contributed other than you. So don't rely on anyone else to take your notes. You're going to take your handwritten notes. That's going to help you reflect later on. Sometimes it may be information you already know or information you've already heard. That's okay. That's fine, because what that does is it lets you know that your initial thoughts are on the right track. You are on the right path. And then once you find the information that you didn't know, or get insight that you didn't have before, or hear a different perspective, that's the kind of information that that'll be really useful for you, and you'll be able to take action on. Okay, so you're going to take your own notes. And my final tip here for being in the hot seat is please be gracious. Please be thankful for the group and their suggestions. No suggestion, idea, thought, comment is wrong or incorrect. In fact, sometimes what happens with those comments that you might not find useful or actionable, they may be the catalyst or the thing that piggybacks to the next idea, the brilliant brainstorm idea that gets you the exact action that you want. Okay, or the desired results that you want. So just be grateful, be thankful, and the group has your back, and everyone is there to help you succeed. And you know, I shared this quote in my initial information session, the rising tide, right? Boats that rise, we rise together, and we'll feed off each other's energy, we'll feed off each other's wins, we'll feed it off of each other's actions. So keep that in mind. Be a gracious hot seat person. Okay, really quickly here, let me give you an example of how this will work in case you can't envision it. We will be in two groups. We will be sitting in a circle or a square, whatever it happens to be. The individual on the hot seat is going to think of their question in advance, their burning issue, the thing they need help with the most. They're going to present their question. So I'm just going to use this example of myself. I'm trying to figure out ways to add additional streams of income to my business. Yes? Here's the background. I offer hands-on small training workshops for small business owners. I currently offer 2 to 3 workshops per week. If I'm not teaching, then I do not make the income. If I can only teach 3 classes a week, I'm limited in my income. So what I want to know today from you all is, or what I'd like to brainstorm, or what are some additional streams of income that I can add into my business so I can increase my revenues or income. So we go around the table. Betty says, well, have you tried online courses? Those would be great. If you're not able to facilitate, then you can have those running night and day. Carla says, why don't you think about creating a partnership with other workshop facilitators? Then they can perhaps work with you, under you, for you, and you don't always have to be in the classroom. And then Dana says, why don't you take it to the next level and offer podcasts? Maybe you can start selling those. Maybe you can do some advertising. You're already facilitating, just change it around a little bit and offer a tweak to that. And Erin says, could you plan community or business networking events? Again, maybe you can speak for an hour and other individuals can speak. Maybe you can host events using your name and your expertise and offer it to more people, widen your reach or widen your audience. So these would be some examples of how the question could be answered, and everyone gets a turn to go around the table and answer. And as the person in the hot seat, I will write down the responses, and then I may actually ask for clarification, or, could you expand on that? Do you have anything further to say? But we really want to quickly get around the room so everyone has at least one opportunity to respond. And then if we have more time, then you could ask a secondary question, or you could ask another question, or you could say, okay, those are 4 really great ideas. Can I get some more ideas? And you can go back around the table. But each person has 15 to 20 minutes per hot seat in which you can ask and get your questions answered. Okay, so that is how the hot seat works, and every one of our meetups is going to be focused around the hot seat. There's no time for socialization. This is not a training course. This is not a coaching class. These things can take place outside of our brainstorming meetings, and I have made the sessions 3 hours with adding a little bit of intro and conclusion, but the majority and our primary focus is going to be the hot seat. Okay? And just as a recap, the benefits of the mastermind: feedback, brainstorming, accountability, decision-making, help with decision-making, support, tap into others' experience and knowledge in their tenure, and get just varying opinions. We're going to hold you accountable so you can get some real progress. We're going to help you decrease the isolation, which we often feel when we are solopreneurs. We're going to improve clarity or bring you clarity, and we're definitely going to challenge you. If nothing else, we're going to push you out of your comfort zone, because we know that is where you grow. That is where the magic happens. So thank you everyone for listening in to today's session, and we will talk to you all very soon. Have a great day, everyone.